What is up, YouTube and beyond? We are in Chicago once again at my boy Leo's house. We're about to install Clayton Offroad's brand new Overland Plus suspension system. It's a 3.5 inch lift, so the Jeep is going from 4 inches in the front, 4.5 inches in the back to 3.5 inches all around. We're also installing the Fox 2.0 performance shocks. And we're just going to go through everything step by step, all the features of this new suspension system, so you guys can see how it's put on, see how it performs, all that fun stuff. Welcome to TrailSpinTV. First is lift the rear end of the Jeep up, get some jack stands underneath, get the wheels off, get everything cleared out, and slowly start to take the suspension that's on there now off. I think we're going to start with the sway bar links, and that way we get a lot more droop out of the whole thing, and we'll get the springs out of there easy, the new springs back on there easily. And so what we just did was we jacked the rear bumper of the Jeep up using a high lift. Just get the frame a little bit higher so we can get some jack stands underneath the rock sliders. Now we're gonna jack the axle up so we can get the tires off. Tires are off, we're just going to let the axle down to droop the whole thing. We'll get the springs out, get the shocks off, and all that fun stuff. I think the whole concept is that thieves don't walk around with like every set.
I do. Oh, look at that. Okay, this is where we're gonna lose these, okay? Don't forget.
I'll run the tape back. So now we're just gonna jack the diff up, take some of the weight off the axle so we can loosen up the sway bar links and the shocks. We'll get everything loose, and then we'll just droop the whole thing so we can get the springs out.
Amazing how that works.
It's a good thing I got this giant extension.
Not I, sir.
Start drooping her.
Tell me when.
Keep going. All right, hold on.
That brake line.
It's all right. Okay.
Go flip it so, yeah, there we go. Lift it up a little bit. There we go. Now this plate is on.
The new kit comes with these bump stops, rear bump stops. Came with front bump stops too, so we're just installing that now. Just goes right on the bump stop plate back here. So those are all screwed in. Those are basically when the suspension is totally compressed. This here will bounce off of that to stop the shocks from bottoming out. So now we're going to add the new springs.
Just do that for now and then we'll lift it and fit it properly. Cool.
Hold on. Okay. Alright, it's good. Alright, so now, next thing we're going to do is take the track bar off. This is a custom bracket for the rough country lift that was on their X Series lift for their adjustable. I guess this is their adjustment here on the rough country lift. The new lift is got a stationary bracket, and then the track bar itself is adjustable. So we're just going to take all these bolts out, get the track bar off, get this bracket off, and basically what we're doing right now is just taking off all of the existing suspension components. Control arms, track bar, and everything, and then we're going to start with the new control arms, and then we're going to do the track bar last. You good? Good? Ow. So we got the custom track bar bracket off for the rough country lift, and now we're going to do the upper and lower control arms on this side, which is driver's side.
No, hold on. That was making it tighter. I was actually just breaking it loose. Oh yeah, this bolt's not gonna come out because that guy's in the way. Just saying.
Because what's in the way? Oh, cool.
Yeah. It'd be cool if we actually like started thinking about what we're doing instead of just doing it.
So what we just realized, so you guys don't make the same mistake we just did, is since we installed the bump stop already, we're not going to be able to slide this bolt out. It's a big long bolt, so we're not going to pull it this way, we're not going to pull it that way. So we're gonna keep loosening it up, and then we're gonna take the bump stop. We're gonna take the bump stop back off, and so in case we were wondering why the bushings were squeaking, completely shot.
There's your problem.
That was the worst one too. That was the one that made the most noise at first, but they're all pretty much doing that.
That's
now.
incredible.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there now. It's gone.
Yeah, it's completely gone.
It's just metal on metal. And this one was coming out. Look at that.
Yeah, this one was bulging out, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, it's gone on this side. Well, I can't flip it all the way, but yeah. When we take it off, we'll show it. That's bad. Gosh. Thanks, Obama.
So Rough Country did send me, without no questions asked, all new bushings, but I believe they only sent me the bushings for the frame side of each control arm. So I'm not sure that they sent me the other half of each control arm. So the bigger bushings on this one are just completely blown out, and not sure why. But I contacted Rough Country, and within 20 minutes they said that the new ones were already on the way before they even sent me an invoice, and then the invoice came like a half hour after that, and then the stuff all arrived like 2 days later. So pretty much kick-ass customer service by Rough Country. But yeah, like I keep saying, I've been looking forward to putting this Clayton lift on for a while. Some high quality stuff. So that's what's left of the bushing. Frame side, it's just completely gone. And then you can see a closer look here on the axle side. The bushing is just kind of bulging right out of the control arm. But we got that one off. What we're going to do is pretty much line up the length, because the new control arms are also adjustable, so we're going to keep this length because the pinion angle of the axle was actually pretty good at the length that we had it. So I'm going to go grab the new control arm, get the length the same one as this, and then put it in. And then we'll get the lower one off.
Where's the nut?
So we did notice that on the previous suspension, the lock nut, the adjustable side, was on the frame end, but this right here is much wider. Well, not much wider, but wider enough to the point where this was pretty much bulging out as we were trying to get it in there. So we flipped it around and kind of had to finagle it to get it in there. This part, the mount attached to the frame, was actually a little tweaked because I was having bottoming out issues when I first got the Rough Country springs, and I think it did a little bit of damage. So we kind of hammered this out, and then we kind of knocked this in with a soft mallet until we got the bolt through. So I think that should do her. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to get this bolted up, and then we're going to get the lower one off and get that one out. Those are in there. We're going to leave them not loose, but we're not going to tighten them until everything's put together. Because when you drop the vehicle back down onto the ground, then you tighten the control arm mounts. It's called preloading. Dang.
Oh, I told you that was gonna be messed up too. it up a little bit. Is this the right one? Good enough.
Okay, so what we got here is the stock track bar mount, and this kit comes with an adjustable track bar mount, which is here. So the way it lines up is, Leo's gonna demonstrate.
It's got the gap right here, which is gonna slide through the original here, and then this is gonna go right up here. So go in, slide it in. And then we got a bolt washer and spacers. We're gonna put a washer on the outside, and then in between the original bracket and the new one, we're gonna stick a washer because there's definitely a gap there. So, well, hold on. So,
this is what we got going on. This is the stock Jeep track bar mount, and this is the custom bracket for the Clayton kit. We've got a washer to cover this gap here, washer here, and then this metal sleeve, and then obviously a washer or bolt nut on this side. So the next step is this welded piece wraps around the axle, and then there's a clamp
right
on
here.
the other side, and then 4 bolts. For all you guys out there who aren't running a Dana, what are they, Dana 44s for?
Dana 40. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a Jeep.
I think they're 40s.
But you got 4 bolts, 4 lock washers, and 4 nuts. Now you don't want to tighten anything until, like the bolt that we ran through here, you don't want to tighten it until you get all this stuff lined up, otherwise it could be all crooked.
It's pretty much true for everything that we've put on so far. I don't think we've tightened anything really. The springs are just kind of loosely sitting in there. Control arms. The bump stops are tight.
If I get this one.
Alright, so we figured out that washer that we thought closed that gap. This like wide angle lenses like jacking me off. We took it out of there. By out of there, I mean out of here. And we put it over there. And then we installed this clamp, which clamps around the axle. And now this whole thing is nice and straight. So the adjustable track bar will go into one of these 2 holes, depending on where we decide to set it. And once we center the axle, frame on the axle, we'll figure out where that goes. Stock track bar is off.
So we're going to loosen up the upper control arm now. We should have sprayed this. Yeah, you should probably put some PB Blaster before you start doing all this. It helps.
Oh, your face is like as red as mine is.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll fix it in post.
That's all the squeaking noises we were hearing.
So now that we got this one out, we got a same issue as the other side. The upper control arm, the bushing is just bulged out on the axle side, and then this is just completely blown out. But it's all right. It's what we're replacing. How's it look?
Perfect. So we're gonna put the new upper control arm now. We're gonna start with the top frame side. Just like that. Now we have one of these, get it out, one of these tabs with the welded nut on it.
Flag nut.
Flag nut, sure. And then, see if we can bolt through, and we're gonna sneak this. All right, so we got an opening in the frame here, and we're gonna slide right through there, and there, and then you basically hold it from here, twist the bolt, and you'll be able to get it. So the top is on. Now we're gonna slide this down into the bottom. We're gonna line it up, get the bolt through, and that should be, we're gonna leave it loose, and that should be good for now, and then we're gonna move on to the lower control arm.
That was good. That was a professional move. Yay! With my air knights. Wow.
It really shouldn't be, because, I mean, whatever. We'll just take the bottom out now.
Think about that.
All right, so we're gonna put in the lower control arm, and I'm gonna start at the top by the frame. Now we got another one of these. It's gonna go right in the back. So just like all the other ones, we're not gonna tighten them until the vehicle is down. Just like that, and that's it. Got sway bar links. 2 nuts. And go down here. And up there. That's pretty straightforward. And we'll tighten it, make sure both are the same length from on each side. Should be good to go.
So I can't see. I can't see, there's a frog up. Alright, so we just gotta cut these down 2 1/4 inches on each side. Hopefully this doesn't skip to the right like it did last time. Sweet! So these adjustable sway bar links came pretty long, so we cut them down. We kind of lined them up before and they looked a little long, so we kind of got them as close to the ones we had on there as possible. And cut them down, installed the bushings. Sweet! Yeah.
Made them both even, and now they're gonna go on. Pretty straightforward. Just go in at the bottom, go in there, put the nut, tighten her up, good to go.
So, as part of this suspension upgrade, we basically had to get rid of the rough country stuff. Clayton required that we either get Fox 2.0s at minimum or Bilsteins. So we went with the Fox 2.0s, and we're just going to stick those on now. Kind of sucks that the logo is so high up on the shock, because when it's installed, you're not going to see it from the back. And I mean, what good are Fox shocks if nobody knows you're running them?
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the top first, put the bolts through, and then we'll snap it, and it should extend, and we'll line it up.
Easy peasy.
Pretty easy, right?
Pry bar. Or screwdriver. Yep. Alright, so we just got the brake lines done, the brake line extensions. Took the old ones off, put the new ones on. So we're pretty much done with the rear. Everything that's in the rear has been installed, so now we just got to jack the axle up a little bit, get the tires back on, and then we'll be moving on to the front.
Good.
Nice. Alright, so what we did was we jacked up the rock sliders and put some jack stands underneath them. We did each side. And then we doubled them up just in case, just to be safe. And then we jacked the axle up and got the wheels off. And put some jack stands underneath that just in case. The axle's not even touching them. Right now it's hanging on the drive shaft. The drive shaft gets caught on the skid plate. I don't know if you can see it. It's getting a little dark, so. And with the axle fully drooped, these springs won't pop out. So what we're doing right now is we've got some spring clamps, our favorite thing to do. And we're just going to clamp the springs down, get them off, and then probably get to clamp the new springs down to get them back on. So. Alright, so now what we got going on is we can't get the axle drooped far enough to get this spring out. And that's because the drive shaft is holding the whole axle up. So rather than remove the drive shaft, what are we trying again?
We're gonna remove the shock.
Oh, we think that's what's stopping the axle from going any lower is the shock is fully extended. So next thing we're going to do is pull the shock and see if we can't push down on the axle a little bit and get the spring out.
We didn't need to use these guys.
We tried to use the spring clamps, but they got in the way. They were like hitting the whatever that is, spring mount. So we loosened the shock and we put a little pressure down and it didn't work. So we just jacked up the other side because it's still resting on the drive shaft over there to kind of get the angle that we needed, and that popped the spring right out. So we got the spring out. We're going to put the new spring in, and we're going to keep on cruising. So we decided to leave the bump stop loose just inside the spring. We made our hole. We only got a little bit of wiggle room, but we got the new spring in, so I guess that's the technique we're going to do. And you got to line this nut up, and there's barely finger room here, so I'm not going to really record this. It's probably going to be a lot of cursing and moaning and groaning. So
I got it.
you got it. This guy's a dynamo.
Still trying to figure out what that means.
Let Leo know what a dynamo means in the comments below. So we got it in there. Why is everything black? Everything's black, so even with the light, you can't really see what's going on. But right here is the bump stop. We got the nut in. It's a little Allen key through the top. springs in place, so keep on cruising. So right now we're removing the inner fender. Just a bunch of little Allen key bolts. Actually, no, what are these called again?
Yeah, Allen bolts.
Allen bolts. Allen screws. We're removing the shock. It's already disconnected at the bottom. And then we'll be removing the, I guess this is a extension bracket that was required as part of the rough country installation. But the new lift doesn't call for it, so I'm just gonna yank that out. And it's out. I'm making moves. Well, Leo's making moves. I'm sitting in a chair. Say it with me. Dynamo.
Hey, that had Loctite. Which means the other side had Loctite. Which means it came off for no reason.
If you don't know what we're referring to, we're talking about our trip to the sand dunes. I don't know if the videos for that's going to be out by the time this video comes out. It should be. But at the sand dunes in Michigan, we hit a couple bumps. And this on the other side loosened up, which means the shock has been loose ever since. I haven't had a chance to get through it.
With red Loctite.
With red Loctite. Pretty impressive.
Wouldn't it be cool if everything was as easy as taking stuff off?
Mm-hmm. So it's day 2. It's the next day. It's what is it, like 9 o'clock in the morning? We called it a night last night around, I don't know, 9 p.m. Ran out of light, ran out of patience, ran out of time, and just we were exhausted. So waking up with a fresh head, gonna get things going again today. The next move is to get these control arms off on the passenger side up front and get the new ones on. I'm gonna keep it moving. So we got the uppers and lowers put on. Pretty much the same concept as the back, so we're not really filming each and every detail, but take the old arm off, put the new arm on. We had to finagle the axle a little bit. We did a ratchet strap and then jacked one side up just to try to get things lined up. They're about 1/8 of an inch off. Just the whole axle kind of shifted once we took these arms off, but no big deal. Moving on to the other side. So we've got both the control arms on the driver's side on. We're just loosely tightening everything. And then we're gonna do the track bar next. And then the shocks, and then the brake lines. And then we're gonna drive it.
And then we're gonna we gotta put the wheels on.
Oh yeah, we should probably put the wheels on before we drive it. Alright, so we got the new track bar installed. These are both track bars, front and rear, have the serviceable Johnny joints, which are just super high quality bushings. There's a grease nipple there, so you can add grease to them. Yep, pretty sweet. we're about to put the new shocks on, and we noticed that the strap that holds the shock compressed is actually over the nut that we need to remove to install it. So we're going to try to install the bottom first, right, and then cut it, and then have the shock go up into the hole it needs to go into.
But it won't.
It will, because we'll get the nut off while it's moving.
Before you get your fingers in there. Just gonna have to probably push it down. That's gonna go all the way through that.
It's going to go slow, though. I mean, I could just put the camera down and help you.
No, it's cool. I don't need you. I told you it was gonna go right through.
I thought you were going to try to hold it, like hold the shock.
How the hell am I gonna hold the shock? Alright, now we gotta just push it all down. Should I keep going?
Yeah, hold on. So we were able to, both of us, push this shock back down so that we could get this through the hole. So I would recommend doing it with a buddy. I guess you could probably start with the top and then use like a jack at the bottom, kind of jack it up into place. But I mean, I was pretty much strong enough to push it down. I guess if you were by yourself, it'd be a little more challenging. But it's in there. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the other side. Moving right along. So we have put the tires back on, put the vehicle under its own weight. We went through, we tightened up all the control arms, we torqued everything to spec, the front and rear track bars, all the control arms, the shocks, rear sway bar links, and now we're putting the bump stops, rear bump stops back on. We had to remove them to get to the bolts so that we could tighten up the control arms. So Leo's currently putting those back on. We are finally getting towards the end. What else we gotta do? We gotta bleed the brakes, and I guess we're gonna go give it a test spin. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Always forgetting something. We just got done bleeding the brakes, and right now we're putting air in the tires because I keep my tires air down because with the 4-inch lift and the top down, I have to air down the tires for the Jeep to fit into my garage. That should be a problem now that we're a little an inch lower. But just
Oh, hello.
Got a face for radio.
How much you want them at?
35. So yeah, looking forward to this, man. We've been itching to drive this thing since we started working on it. So just gonna drive around town a little bit, see how it feels. I'll get Leo to record me while I'm driving. Yay!
All right. What are we doing?
Oh, we're testing it out. Just drove to the gas station, and some pretty smooth like Chicago roads. So didn't really get a chance to like really test it out, but I can already tell like a significant difference over the rough country lift. And the ride is smoother. Plus we aired up the tires. I'm used to driving around with like really soft pressure in the tires. Yeah, it just feels so
Butter.
much nicer. So that's it. Everything's done. This thing runs amazing. Thank you so much to Clayton Offroad. You guys are the best. I can't even explain or describe the difference between what I was running and what I'm running now. Super happy with the whole suspension. Super happy with the installation. Everything went on like it was supposed to. These new Fox 2.0 shocks are just so freaking good. And yeah, so that's it. We didn't really intend this to be an instructional video, so if we missed some stuff, sorry. If you got questions, you can hit me up in the comments below. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that button all the way in. Ring that notification bell, leave some comments, leave some dislikes. We just appreciate all of the viewers and everybody that's been supporting us along the way. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.